and welcome to a new video. In this new video we are going to talk about the importance of packaging on consumers' buying behavior. So nowadays marketers are using different mediums to bombard the market in simultaneous consumers that can influence their purchase decisions. According to Keller, while doing shopping, consumers' eye pass through from about 2,000 products in the time of only 30 minutes. But there's the role of point the differentiation is played by packaging, which differentiated from the variety of similar products and base the consumer decision. Now, packaging is used for a tool of promotional activities and is the cheapest source for BTL activities and become the essential tool for marketers. The new generation of the 21st century carefully looks for products, looks at everything and then purchase it. However, in the time pressure will also influence the purchase decision sometimes well. So traditionally, the role of packaging is only limited to the protection of the product from external environment, but as the time passed, the marketers use this also as a tool of marketing and involve the packaging in their basket for boosting up of sales. The first tangible thing that is noticed by the consumer while doing shopping is the packaging of the product. The packaging differentiates the product from other competing brands, and hence now companies have developed a proper team for designing a good packaging of products. The material of packaging, the shape, the size, the color, etc. are now considered as a factor that can influence the consumer response about the product, and at the past, available information or customer preference and action provide a reflection of consumer response on packaging. All companies are now very much interested in observing the consumer's behavior. By simulating the feelings of customers, the market's main objective is to influence the purchase decision. Researchers indicate that most of the time, consumers mostly go through the unplanned shopping rather than planned shopping. So it is about 70% of the customer purchase are done at point of purchase. So as a result, it is necessary for them to look for the solution which can bring down this feeling of consumers. So the main objective of this research is to find the impact of important elements of color packaging that affect the consumer buying behavior. Therefore, the key objectives for this research paper are to determine the impact of components of packaging on consumer buying behavior, also to determine the effect of packaging on buying decision, and as well to determine the effect of each component of packaging on buying behavior with respect to consumer mood, and to detect the elements which should be prominent in packaging while designing to attract consumers. So packaging is the outer view of the product which is lively seen by the consumer. The first thing that can be reflected in the product is the packaging and can play a very major role in purchasing decision. In Pakistan, the generation of millennials is very much conscious about the product, but the advertisement helps marketers to bring the consumer till the point of purchase, but the packaging is the component will result in purchase decision. Many marketers are now focusing on product packaging and they are very much aware about this strategy. So this research will help them to identify that which component of packaging is important for consumers in purchase decision of millennial of Karachi. This research will also provide a secondary data for the future researchers to work and explore more components that can affect the buying decisions. So the study is limited to daily life products, or formerly known as fast-moving consumer goods, and the target population are also limited to millennials. So the limitation of this study is daily life products, which are especially targeting the millennials, and results indicate the outputs of the target population toward the target product and also limit to consumer mood. So we are going to start saying that the packaging is nowadays playing the role of success factor, and there is still much gap and researchers are needed in this topic by focusing on the marketing dimensions. Researchers can be made on this topic by using different moderators or by adding more variables, but the researcher who want to do research on packaging and influence on buying decision can also conduct this research in local region with local product, as the psychological factor of every human being is different and varies from regions, cultures, and religions. So the study can also be made on hundreds of technological implications in packaging that which possible it can be solved and used for technological and also can be used to produce intelligent packaging. So packaging of elements is now completely transformed from traditional approach, and now it becomes a multi-dimensional factor. In telecast, the information about the product as well as company and user communication mean between consumer and company, with also performing the function of shield of protection from external environment. The researchers must realize this factor and try to explore new concepts in packaging and consumer decision process. Now the consumer purchases the product after touching it, feels it, and then study the labeling of product. Consequently, the buying decisions are influenced by the labeling and packaging of product with role of some other factors. So we have to ask us about the following questions. So what is the impact of packaging of products on consumer buying behavior targeting the millennials? How different components of packaging are important in consumer buying process targeting the millennials? And which components of packaging affects the consumer buying behavior of millennials most? So the importance of packaging can be reflected from the 4 P's of marketing, which are also modifying, and one more PE, packaging, is also introduced in that. Consumer can be attracted towards a product through advertisement and promotions, but the last decision will force him to buy the product packaging, which is internally made by the perception of the product packaging in consumer's mind. It also helps in differentiation of product from others. According to SEED, packaging reflects the brand image, and the brand image will help the consumer in taking the purchase decision. The study then conducted also revealed the information that the brand image has not directly linked with purchase decision, but when other elements were added, it showed a positive image. So marketing activities are now also transformed, and now product packaging has been added in the basket of promotional activities. So the unique features of product packaging simulate in the purchase decision of consumer, and for so long period of time, consumer will no longer forget about the product. So whenever the consumer goes for shopping, the unique feature of packaging help him in purchase decision if even the name of product is forgotten by the consumer. So one study is said that the packaging is now helping the organization in increasing their revenue streams. The cost of good packaging is now allowed to companies to charge premium pricing for that products. So now we are going to look for a theoretical review and talk about the theory of attractive quality. So that theory is well-known theory given by the Professor Cano and his research associates. After the theory of Hilbert two-factor theories, Professor Cano has given another theory of the field of management science. This theory emphasizes to look deeply and with different angles in all aspects to understand that who the customer is memorizing and building the image of any product. This theory provides the bridge between the consumer satisfaction level and perceived value by providing the quality features. There are 5 dimensions to measure the price per quality attributes, and they were clearly described by the Cano in this theory. It also describes that how the price of what value from customer side changes from satisfaction to dissatisfaction. The degree of packaging is very much influenced by the theory of attractive quality of Professor Cano, and it describes the relationship between the packaging and the quality in 3 different aspects, like before, during, and after. The operationalization of this theory in field of marketing regarding to packaging helps the marketer to understand that while being providing the same quality over time, the customer switch toward others. So it describes the role of packaging and importance of packaging regarding to the customer satisfaction. When the customers see the attractive quality of packaging, the stimulus response, and ultimately this will lead to build a strong brand image resulting in consumer satisfaction. So about the behavior when the purchase is based on their preference, attitude, and decision concerning about obtaining the product is made by the consumer decision, and they are following 5 steps, but we are going to talk about the 5 steps in our next video. So hope you have enjoyed this one and see you in the next.